As a man who has theoretically limitless alternate personalities, tracking the personal stories of each of Bruce Banner's various Hulk forms is a task that, if done on pen and paper, would make you look like the craziest conspiracy nut of all time. With each Hulk variant having their own personalities, their own different powers, and their own separate storylines, each version of the Hulk also has its own unique point of interest. Even if that point of interest is just trying to figure out how exactly the compound Hulk got melded together in the first place. It's enough to make you positively green with confusion? Well, anyway, I'm Ewan, this is What Culture Comics, and here's what happened to every version of the Hulk. Number 16. Savage Hulk. When people think of the Hulk, the Savage Hulk tends to be the version they're thinking about, an aggressive monosyllabic rage machine that is the product of Bruce Banner's repressed childhood trauma. Introduced in the first issue of The Incredible Hulk, the Beast served to create Marvel's equivalent of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, with Banner desperately trying everything to restrain his uncontrollable alter ego. Over time, the figure of the Hulk would become more reasonable and willing to work with Bruce, not against him. As such, a tamer version of the Savage Hulk is the main Hulk we see today. Number 15. Joe Fixit. The Grey Hulk, who would go on to be known as Joe Fixit, is smarter than the regular Hulk, but also more dishonest, prone to lying and manipulating people. After overriding Banner's control over him, Fixit would work as a casino enforcer, managing to carve out a life almost entirely separate to his human host, right up until Bruce reawakens and the two are forced to once again try and work together. The Grey Hulk remains one of many personas repressed within Banner's psyche, with the only noticeable difference being that Fixit is capable of taking over for days at a time, leaving his unfortunate human host responsible for all of his actions when he finally regains consciousness. Number 14. The Red Hulk. One of the few Hulk forms not hosted by Bruce Banner, the Red Hulk was created when Thaddeus Ross exposed himself to gamma radiation in order to try and finally beat the Jolly Green Giant, having spent years plotting his demise. Unfortunately for Ross, the Red Hulk is in many regards less powerful than the main Hulk himself. Not only does he succumb to bladed objects much quicker than the regular Hulk, but he also lacks the ability to power himself up by getting angry that his green brethren does, meaning his strength level is far lower. Ross's death at the hands of the Foreigner in Captain America Volume 9 Number 6 appeared to mark the end of the Red Hulk, although with the current Absolute Carnage event involving his skeleton, there's a chance he may not be dead for long. Number 13. Maestro. Maestro is a version of Hulk from the future, where nuclear war had obliterated half the Earth and left those remaining under the fist of the tyrannical Green Giant. With the radiation of this war only increasing the Maestro's power further, he proves a colossal threat to anyone trying to fight him, something that our Hulk would learn when he was sent into the future to fight his dystopian self. However, while the radiation improved Maestro's strength, it didn't improve his intelligence, allowing the Hulk to outsmart him and send him back in time to when the first gamma bomb went off, killing him instantly. But hey, no good Marvel character stays dead for long, and Maestro's skeleton would absorb enough gamma radiation over the years to bring him back to life in the current timeline. Number 12. The Mindless Hulk. Although he initially appears the exact same as Savage Hulk, the Green Giant's mindless form is different in that he is totally without morals or reason, making this the most impulsive form of the creature, as well as one of the few forms incapable of speech. Mindless Hulk first appeared in The Incredible Hulk number 299 and was brought about when a raging Savage Hulk was manipulated by the villain known as Nightmare. The longtime enemy of Doctor Strange would repress the persona of Savage Hulk from the Berserk Beast, leaving the creature in a completely primal state. This version of the Hulk would go on a path of destruction, only stopped when Doctor Strange exiled him from the universe. In his travels through various other dimensions, the Mindless Hulk would regain the Savage Hulk persona, going back to normal, or as normal as an 8-foot green-skinned behemoth can be. Number 11. SheHulk. One of the few Hulks not created by direct exposure to radiation, SheHulk was created when Jennifer Walters, Bruce Banner's cousin, was shot and left in a life-threatening condition. With no alternative, Bruce was forced to use his own blood in a transfusion to save her life, which succeeded, but also bestowed her with the same ability to transform into a hulking beast. Because Walters lacks the childhood trauma of her cousin, she is notably able to retain total control over herself while in Hulk form, instead of it being a separate identity within her consciousness. That said, she has recently been imbued with extra gamma radiation by a Celestial, which has caused her Hulk form to become far more difficult to control. Number 10. Devil Hulk. One of the more transparently evil Hulk forms, the Devil Hulk exists as a manifestation of both Banner's dark side and his concerns around the Hulk being an evil entity. As such, the creature resides deep within Banner's mind, only appearing to him in The Incredible Hulk Volume 2, number 19, after the scientist is experimented on in a manner that shows him all of his potential alter egos. The Devil Hulk escapes into reality several times, the most disturbing of which takes place in The Incredible Hulk number 27, and sees the monster trap Banner in an imaginary dream world, while he mercilessly kills and maims out in the real one. The Devil Hulk hasn't appeared in any major storylines for some time, but it's only a matter of time until he appears once more to make the Hulk into something even more terrifying. Number 9. Clerk. As the backwards name suggests, Clerk, or Clue, or Clerk, is the opposite of the main Hulk, describing himself as the Hulk's Hulk, a terrifying and vaguely sleazy version of the creature, powered by his intent to wipe out mankind. Clerk is brought out during the events of Avengers and X-Men Axis, which sees the Avengers have their moral compass inverted, resulting in them becoming a bunch of villains. While it would be easy to presume that Clerk was merely the result of this inversion, his dialogue suggests that he's been around for some time, suggesting that this could be another persona that Banner has kept hidden as a result of the damage it could carry out if freed. As such, chances are Clerk is also lurking in some shadowy spot of Banner's mind, where he will hopefully remain indefinitely. Number 8. Professor Hulk. Created after psychiatrist Leonard Samson merged Bruce Banner's psyche with that of Savage Hulk and Grey Hulk, the merged Hulk, who would later be renamed the Professor, is the best of all three worlds, combining intelligence, strength, and wit into one form. However, it is later revealed that this is not the combination of all three characters, but rather a new version of the Hulk who merely thinks that they are the product of all three consciousnesses being combined. As such, the Professor is also with the other various alter egos within the mind of Banner, although he was retconned by writer Peter David into being a hallucination caused by Nightmare, so it's unclear if he is still considered a legitimate alter ego. Number 7. Dark Hulk. The rarest of all the Hulks, Dark Hulk appeared in precisely 2 issues of the Incredible Hulk comic, when Shaznar, the Sorcerer Supreme of the Strange World, decided to try conquering Earth, using Hulk as his host body. What resulted was a shadow-like Hulk who held little back when faced with a world of new targets. This rampage doesn't last long, however, as Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner's joint effort forces Shaznar from the Hulk's body and back into his own dimension, although he would appear twice more, in Doctor Strange and the Silver Surfer Annual respectively. Number 6. Amadeus Cho / Brawn. Initially made into the Hulk when Cho channeled the Rage Monster's energy into himself in Totally Awesome Hulk number 4, Amadeus would serve as the main Hulk for a significant portion of time, having essentially cured Banner's gamma radiation. But this wouldn't last, as when Banner was resurrected from his death in Civil War II, it would be with the Hulk still within him, as Bruce would come to realize the Hulk was immortal, and bringing the scientists back with him each time. Cho had a similarly rough experience, as he would learn that his Hulk form was more difficult to control than he'd initially realized, and would end up shooting himself into space to try and prevent anyone from getting hurt by him. Amadeus would eventually come to terms with the Beast as part of his repressed dark side, joining with his Hulk form in the Incredible Hulk 717 to become just Cho, although he's still affectionately known as Brawn. Number 5. The Guilt Hulk. The scariest and perhaps most relatably named Hulk of all, the Guilt Hulk is a manifestation of Banner's memories of his father, combined with the guilt he feels about the damage the Hulk has caused over the years. Bruce is forced to confront this version of the Hulk when attempting to create Professor Hulk, which sees him and Doc Samson go deep into Banner's psyche. When all of the scientist's memories of his father are replaced with a nightmarish hellbeast, Bruce begins to recognize that his deep-rooted trauma was likely the cause of the creature, and is able to defeat it by recognizing the turmoil his abusive father created in his life. While the Guilt Hulk was supposed to have also been retconned out of existence by Peter David, he's appeared since then in events like Chaos War, so it looks like he's still canon. Number 4. Compound Hulk. Created by the Impossible Man's genius idea to join the Hulk and the Red Hulk together, the Compound Hulk is perhaps the most unpredictable of all the various Hulks, because it requires 2 characters who categorically do not get on to work together. While the pair eventually set aside their differences to fight the villain the Impossible Man has set them against, the whole thing seems to be more mentally traumatizing instead of being team building, leading the pair to agree to never speak of their time conjoined ever again. Number 3. Doc Green. In order to prove a threat to Tony Stark, Bruce ups his intake of the Extremis virus, which he was using in small doses to repair brain damage, creating Doc Green, a super smart version of the Hulk who is mercifully smart enough to recognize that Iron Man was not responsible for the Hulk being created in the first place. After a series of adventures, Doc realizes that the virus that upgraded his intelligence is only a temporary fix, and thus returns to being the regular Hulk soon enough. Number 2. The Green Scar. The Green Scar persona is born at the end of the Planet Hulk storyline, which sees Banner fight against endless hordes of enemies to unite the planet Sakaar, where the Illuminati exiled the Green Giant after they felt he was too dangerous to remain on Earth. After all this suffering, the Hulk is able to defeat the tyrannical king of the planet and start his own rule, which brings the planet prosperity and peace surprisingly. Or rather, it does for 3 whole days, as the shuttle the Avengers flew the Hulk in on explodes, destroying just about everyone on Sakaar. Except for the Hulk, who is both rightfully a little mad and insanely powered by the radiation the explosion emitted. From here, the Green Scar emerged, set on killing the Avengers in revenge. Unfortunately for the Green Scar, however, the Avengers are a hardy sort, and the Hulk persona is eventually taken down by one of Tony Stark's inventions, which is capable of nullifying gamma radiation. And number 1, Worldbreaker Hulk. While the Green Scar refers to himself as the Worldbreaker Hulk in World War Hulk, it seems more feasible to say that this version of the Hulk is a separate entity, as this form and its powers have been used outside of the World War Hulk storyline, most notably at the end of the Incredible Hulk series, which sees Hulk yet again unleash the full terrifying potential of his abilities. Because the Worldbreaker Hulk is, for all intents and purposes, just the Hulk with nothing held back, as the creature naturally radiates gamma radiation, which Banner usually keeps controlled on Earth in order to not hurt anyone. But in circumstances where there's no alternative, the Worldbreaker comes out, to full catastrophic effect. All of Bruce Banner's concerns about the damage the Hulk could carry out if left unchecked are shown to be true through the Worldbreaker, proving the Hulk is without doubt one of the most powerful characters in Marvel's roster.